seventh stage is ultimately the destination we all want. Stage 1 is get clear. Stage 2 is get qualified. Stage 3 is get connected. Stage 4 is get started. Stage 5 is get promoted. Stage 6 is get the dream job. And then stage 7, you're in stage 6 and 7 all at the same time, because when we get to that dream job, we realize, hey, this is awesome. I've got the income and the impact that I long for, but I'm not done. Now I want to expand the dream, expand the vision. And now I'm working for true meaning. I've got the money, I've got the work itself, but now it's all about just giving myself away. And I work for purpose and work for others. That's where we're taking you. 844-747-2577. Hey, anywhere in the world, if you're watching live at 12 Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., you can call in. 844-747-2577. If you're watching later, because a lot of you do on YouTube, you can call us Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to be here for you. Now, we do the YouTube show for about 40 minutes at that 12 p.m., and then we move into our radio show in SiriusXM. And, of course, you can hear that also via our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. So welcome aboard. Great article today I want to share just briefly from the Harvard Business Review. In fact, I believe it was yesterday's show. They all blend in for me, folks. But I retaught something that I will keep teaching and keep training you folks on how to prepare for job interviews. Relentless preparation leads to reflexive performance. But this was already in my bin of articles to share on the show. And so I saw this morning. I was like, great, this is a great add-on to yesterday's show. This is a great article, as I said, in Harvard Business Review. Alice Boyes, who is a trained psychologist and worked with other psychologists in dealing with her own anxiety, which we all have around the job interview. We just do. Now, some of us have more anxiety than others. So I want to run through this really quick because it's really practical. She says, number 1, recognize how anxiety affects cognition. I don't think this is a surprise. But she said when she was doing mock interviews with other friends and psychologists, that one of them told her to expect that anxiety during exams or interviews would knock off your thinking capabilities by 20 to 25%. He suggested overlearning somewhat to compensate for this. But here's the real takeaway, and I love that she points this out. Even if you do become caught in a spiral, take heart ahead of time that you're still going to remember 75% of what you know. So that's pretty good. I'll take a 75 when I'm under duress and stress. I'll take a 75. I'm okay with that. And I think that over preparation leads into what I was saying earlier. Yesterday on the show, that relentless preparation leads to reflexive performance. Over preparing allows you to overcome the emotion, and your brain will do its job. Number 2, ask for outside perspective. Most of us are our own worst critics. I know that's true for me. I'm sure that's true for you. So if you're worried about all of your flaws being exposed in an interview, it's good to get outside perspective, objective perspective. People who they're not all emotionally wrapped up, and they'll also shoot you straight because they care about you. So get some clarity and unbiased feedback, and then practice based on the feedback. Number 3, experiment to figure out what works best. Mock interviews are a great way to get feedback, practice interviews, but also think about, just doing your own memorization in front of a mirror. Practice saying and answering questions that you think you're going to get asked. By the way, we have a free resource, How to Win the Interview, at kencoleman.com, where we give you a lot of sample questions, but there's a lot of sample question interviews. And if you think through the job description itself, the company, practice just on your own, giving a little mini speech, a mini answer. And also understand that the anxiety, this is number 4, the anxiety is not personal to you. You're not the only one who deals with it. You're a human being. This is a pressure-filled deal, this interview. And don't take it personally. Nothing wrong with you. And finally, draw on your strengths and history of solving problems. I love that. How do you solve problems? All of us do. There may be different types of problems, but I love this suggestion in the article to draw from your past where you've successfully solved problems and go, what can I learn from that will help me solve this problem of being really nervous? And then, of course, always, always, always focus on your strengths. Nobody's hiring you for your weaknesses. Let's be honest. They may not hire you because of some of your weaknesses, but they're not going to hire you because you're just so transparent and so humble and you tell them all things you do awful. No, focus on what you do well. And hopefully you've done your homework that what you do well matches beautifully with the job description. And again, rest in the fact that your brain is a powerful, powerful machine. If you put what needs to be in the machine, it will perform. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's get to the phones. Remember, you can send your chat questions in, and we'll answer a few of those as well. Let's go to Jamie, who's in Richmond, Virginia. Jamie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Jamie, I'm living the dream. What's going on with you?
I've been working at a food industry as a general manager, and I feel like the role is good for me, but I don't feel like it's the right place.
Mm-hmm. Why is that? Tell me more. What's the evidence?
So my job it's pretty much 24/7, regardless of if I'm scheduled off. And like my phone can blow up from my employees or my superiors all the time.
Yeah. There's your first big piece. That's driving it, isn't it? That's really the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is fun because I think you're right. But just to kind of confirm for you, tell me why it's the right role. Forget the fact that you're on call all the time. Let's remove that. Let's just say it was an 8-hour gig, and we're operating in the fact that it's not a 24/7 on call, exhausting, overwhelming type role. What do you love about the role?
I love the people that I get to meet. I love hiring the people that other people wouldn't give a chance and watching them thrive under, a good atmosphere or good teaching or someone to tell them to get their stuff together.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's that. You know what that is? That right there, folks, is the pure heart of a leader. The true pure heart of a leader isn't most excited and most juiced about leading the team to numerical wins or business wins, although that is the goal of the leader. But it's always going to be secondary to leading the individual people to see them grow individually and them advance individually. And that growth and advancing plays into the team's overall success. Every time I've ever talked to a high school coach or a professional coach in any sport, the ones that really, really love it, it's always about the relationship with the individual team players. That's a beautiful thing, Jamie. That's a beautiful thing. You want to lead people. So here's the deal. I want to confirm your gut. You've been listening to the program because you understand what I mean when I say right role, wrong place. You need to be leading people. And the good news is you have enough experience to where you can lead people in other industries. Because leadership is not industry specific. Does it help to have some experience and some know-how in certain areas, in certain industries? Sure. But I think you're the type of person that can transition to another leadership role with not a whole lot of effort. And it doesn't have to be the food industry because that's what's crushing you is the schedule and the nature of the beast. So where would you go? So I think you got to open yourself up to, wait a second, I have experience as a leader. You can call it general manager, leader. It doesn't matter what you call it. You are an experienced leader, yes or no?
Yes.
You got a track record of doing well, not just for your team, but for your leaders as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. So guess what? The whole world is opened up to you, really, because any type of management or leadership role, we're going to look at that. And then we go, is there an industry that I'm more interested in than others? Staying in the food industry, but how would you stay in the food industry but remove the on-call leadership schedule? That would be somewhere I would start because you've got all the experience, you've got a lot of connections. Now, I don't know if that exists. Certainly in the restaurant world, I don't think that exists. If you're a general manager of a restaurant, it's like being a doctor. You're just on call.
Yeah, questions, comments, concerns.
Yeah. So I think this is just you know what this is? This is a good old-fashioned research project.
Mm-hmm.
Are there leadership roles in the food industry? And so we'd have to almost remove restaurants. So what else in the food industry? You know, the other thing that I think is really interesting is you're looking for leadership roles where where you're getting the opportunity to lead a lot of maybe lower wage earners, or let's call it entry-level workers, because I think you have a heart for them. Did I hear that?
Yeah.
So where are those workers? Where are the leadership positions where you're going to get to engage with those people? And they're coming in, they think, man, this is just an entry-level position. It's an hourly wage. And then they run into Jamie and they go, whoa, Jamie sees me like no one has ever seen me before. Jamie cares for me more than anybody, maybe in my life, certainly in work, cares for me. Am I on that nerve? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I've hired many people who, I'm about to promote one who, when I first hired him, he didn't think very highly of himself.
Oh, I love that. What'd you do? What was your role in getting him to a place where he became promotable?
It was a uphill battle, really, because I had to listen to everything that he went through, and then I had to reciprocate and tell him all the stuff that I had gone through, whether it be with this, with my store or before my store, because a lot of my people, they know that I was robbed while working for this company, and just knowing that they have someone who knows and understands some of the stuff that they go through.
That's awesome. See, that's that empathy and compassion. Yeah. Jamie, any other questions? I mean, because I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. It's kind of wide open for you, but I think the special place for you as a leader is where you're getting the opportunity to lead people who maybe a lot of them have given up on themselves, or they've been forgotten and overlooked. They're damaged in their minds.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. I think that's where you got to go. And I think that could be a lot of places. And here's what I want you to walk away with, that your industry does not limit you. Because I think the way you're positioning yourself for other jobs is not, I was a GM in the food industry or the restaurant world. It's, I was a general manager. And as a result, I hired, I developed, I trained, I fired, handled multiple schedules, multiple personalities, maybe sometimes with the same person, right?
Yeah.
And a fast-paced environment. I'm really good with change and adaptability. I'm great under pressure. Do you see how none of that is mentioning anything specific in the restaurant industry, but that's all true. And I probably left out some other amazing things, right?
Yeah.
That's how you position yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? Because then anybody in another industry goes, wait a second, wow, I got a leader who's proven in the fire. She's been in the foxholes, and she can lead people.
Yeah.
Come on, Jamie. I'm excited. Somebody in Richmond, Virginia, listening right now, you need a leader? Jamie's the gal. I am endorsing Jamie. Here's the deal. If you're in the Richmond area and you know somebody who needs a leader to come in and work with difficult people and people that a lot of leaders don't want to lead, Jamie's your gal. Email the show, ask@kencoleman.com. Madison, let's make sure that we keep Jamie's information close by. Let's just see. But Jamie, I'm going to give you a copy of my book, The Proximity Principle, whatever format you want. And I want you, when you're out there looking for leadership positions, I want you working the proximity principle. It's the proven strategy that will lead to the career you love. It's about the right people in the right places. That's your strategy right now. So stay put. Even though you're just exhausted, let's not jump until we got something to jump to. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, I'm so proud of you. I really am. You've got a great heart for leadership, and don't you ever question that. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Go, Jamie, go. I love it. Naima is up next in Baltimore, Maryland. Naima, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, how are you?
Naima, I'm fired up. Did you just hear that call with Jamie?
Oh my gosh, I did. I was taking notes because that was great for me to hear. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that was wonderful.
Yeah, we all want to work for the Jamies of this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jamie's an awesome lady. Come on, ladies. Come on. Don't tell me that ladies can't lead. I got a daughter.
Oh my gosh.
I got Madison I'm looking at every day. She leads me around like I'm a toddler. Come on. So let's go.
That's in part my question. First of all, I just have to compliment you on your absolutely amazing book, The Proximity Principle. It's like a second Bible for us. I thought I was crazy for dreaming so big, and then my husband bought it for me, and I'm just like, there's someone out there who doesn't think dreaming big is like just crazy.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
That's major.
It's very nice.
Absolutely.
I will send you a check in the mail for that glowing endorsement. So how can I help you?
Your book is a weight in gold.
Well,
anyway,
thank you.
so here is my question. It's actually a two-pronged question. One is how to deal with an extremely difficult situation I have right now, and the second one is a bigger picture of my career.
Okay, let's go with the first one.
Yeah, so I am working in a place with very poor communication. I'm a teacher. Because of COVID or whatever, they haven't gotten me the books I need for my English class. So I've just been doing writing and just trying to do my own things. But it's February, remember, the year started a while ago. I haven't been getting my books. So there was a book in the library. That I used and apparently wasn't okayed by the administration first. Again, I waited until the end of January. Half the year's over. I saw they weren't responding to me, so I just started to use that book in my class.
Yeah.
The assistant principal caught on, realized I was doing that halfway. He gave me a call, and he basically trash-talked me. And he said he's appalled and he's disgusted, and I'm a new teacher in that school, and how dare I? And he said, but I don't really have time to talk to you, and I'm sure there's nothing you could say to make this right because it's wrong, and you're just wrong. Goodbye. And now I'm left here, so I sent them an email and said, I will not come in to teach until you deal with this problem. Oh, and it's been a week. That's why I try to, make it such a urgent thing. And I just got a call from the principal saying, how dare you threaten? You could just say, this is very important, but you can't just not teach. It's your responsibility to come in. So I want to know, what's my response supposed to be? Am I supposed to, and I said, fine, I'll come in. But my question is, how do I, as a new teacher, not come across as like a bulldozer of like, you're doing the wrong thing, but at the same time, like, stand up for myself?
Yeah. Well, here's the reality. While I understand your emotion, and I understand your reaction, I do think you have a responsibility to those kids to show up, and I agree with the principal only on the fact that you need to show up and teach. So I think I'm glad you agreed, and you're going to go back and teach. But what's pathetic about this, and I mean pathetic, is that you are asking for, when you say books, I'm assuming you mean like the curriculum books to be able to actually teach the kids. And the school would not get them to you.
Yep. Oh, because they're too busy, Corona.
No, they're pathetic. They're embarrassments to the trade of teaching. This is bureaucratic bullcrap from your principal and your vice principal, and I wish they were sitting in the studio right now.
Yeah.
This is pathetic.
They're too busy running on a treadmill.
It's pathetic leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Corona or not, you've got to get your teachers the resources to teach these kids, and I applaud you for teaching your own curriculum. And had you called me before you said what you said, here's what I would have told you. I would have said, keep teaching your curriculum. Screw their books. They don't care, but you do. You've shown up day in and day out, and you've created your own teaching experience. And I applaud you for that. And I would say to the rest of the teachers out there who are in this situation, just teach.
Mm-hmm.
You have value to add. Teach them the classics.
Yeah.
Read them the classics in the room and do a discussion. Who gives a crud about the quiz? Clearly your leadership doesn't.
Yeah.
So here's what I think. I think you go back in, stop fighting these folks because they are an embarrassment to educators.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
And this is not the place for you.
Yeah,
So this
it's
leads us
definitely
into our next discussion, which is you got into teaching. Why? Tell us your why.
My why is because there are kids who are hurting, and I've been able to take those kids, the biggest behavioral issues, and love them into behaving well. And it's happened for year after year after year. I am completing my master's in a week in education. It's like love-hate relationship, because on the one hand it's very fulfilling, and on the other hand I hate that it's a big, big burden.
Right.
And I'm at the point where I'm very burnt out from years of not only dealing with just a lot. Teaching is a lot, but I've been dealing over many years with a lot of very, very horrible administration.
Yeah. So let me tell you a story. Because it's my answer.
Yeah.
So my wife, Stacy, she has a really good friend here in our area, and she is an amazing elementary school teacher, and she taught at the school in our neighborhood where all three of my kids went to elementary school. And over time, we've gotten to know her and her husband, and we love them. They're great. Well, Stacy's friend decided in the middle of COVID, so let's take it back to last spring, March, April, and she was one of those teachers where a lot of parents requested her. You know that happens in public school, right? And she just had a reputation with the kids, and the kids would come home and tell the parents, and of course the parents are going to go with what the kids say. The kids are the ones sitting in the classroom interacting with her. So anyway, she realized how many parents wanted her to teach their kids, and she realized that the remote learning was a disaster, and it's been a disaster across the board, not because of the teachers. I want to say this. The teachers that have engaged with the kids have done the best that they can do, but that is not the ideal learning environment, and the kids not having any kind of contact with other kids is a disaster mental health problem. It's not my opinion, folks. The data bears it out, and I know, Naima, you agree with me. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a knock on teachers. This is a knock on, well, I'm going to stop. I don't want to politicize COVID, so I don't want to get into it. So here's the point.
Yeah.
The point is that she said, you know what? She went to all these different parents, and she said, what if I opened up my own school?
Mm-hmm.
Here's how we would do it. And she came up with her own model. And I don't want to misrepresent her model, but it was basically a shorter day. They would be instructed, and then they would have help working on their projects, and it would be a collaborative kind of thing. And they would be done in probably 3 hours less of a school day. And it was very specific instruction. And she kind of created her own curriculum and everything else. Would you believe she sold out of the spots that she was going to open in year one? She's in the middle of it right now. She started in the semester, right here. She started last semester in the fall, and she's about ready to finish her second semester, and she's got a wait list. They're trying to find more space, and parents are basically saying, we want customized education, individualized, small education, and they're paying a premium for it. So I tell you that story to say, you have a heart for the students and the families that they're the ones that they're not problem kids, but the institution of education in America today, they're not prepared to help them. You know it, and I know it. Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's your heart. Well, you can't serve them. And the reason you feel burned out is because you can't serve them the way that you know you need to serve them because of the system.
Exactly.
Am I still right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you create your own system. You create your own biodome, your own culture, your own environment. And you figure out how to do it. You figure out what it's going to cost. That's just a story that I think you've got to kind of noodle on that.
Right. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I've been toying with either the idea of opening up my own private school or doing professional development for teachers and school leaders. And I've actually had requests already for,
Love
leadership
that.
professional development.
Love that.
I'm just a little scared of opening up my own school because the community is can't really handle another school. I'd have to do a lot of fundraising, and I'd have to deal with a lot of behind the scenes things that don't have to do with academics.
Okay, so go somewhere. So here's my point. You've got two options here. I gave you one angle. You've got another angle. You've got to research both angles, play it out, and see what your heart tells you. Okay, but here's the issue. Don't let your fear stop you, because there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And don't just assume that you're going to have to fundraise. Maybe you go to a different community. You go to a community where the problem still exists, but the income is there to be able to pay for it. Don't accept your limitations. You're too strong. You've got too much passion. You've got a strong mission. Don't you accept limitations, Naima. I'm not going to allow it. No, ma'am. Yeah. Find a way. Figure out a way. Take your time. Stay stable in your income. Find a way. Start doing it now. I'm telling you, when you step forward on this and you proclaim it and you share it, the very people who have the need are going to go, I need that. Don't you question that. Don't question it at all. Move forward. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, in the chat room, and then I'm going to teach on how to confirm your why. Naima, you need to keep listening. This is for all of you. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. I'm your counselor, coach, and cheerleader, helping you discover the dream and make the dream a reality in your work, in your life. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed. You must do it. That's our anthem. You know that's true. And some of you out there have no idea what you want to do with your life. Some of you know, but you don't know how to get there. And some of you know and know how to get there, but you're scared to death. Those are basically the three groups of people we talk with. Come on. Jump in. This is life-changing, life-saving stuff we're talking about. 844-747-2577. Let's go to the chat room. Trey writes in, I'm wanting to start my own business. How do I research my product to see if it is in demand and is marketable? Well, there's one half of your answer. Actually research. Who else is selling the product? Are there 1 billion people selling the product? Is it a very niche market for who's selling the product? Just research. If it's all over the place, that could be good, could be bad. But we want to just see. If it's all over the place, that would tell me it's in demand. All right, now you go, is my product marketable? Well, now that's when you begin to do a comparison analysis to say, if there's a lot of these products out there, is mine unique in any way, even if it's just one small way? Or is it basically very similar to everything else? So then you say, well, who's winning selling this product that I want to sell? Why are they winning? Is it just their marketing? Is it the fact that they were first to market and they've got the share? You got to do all of that. And then you begin to say, okay, I've got enough evidence to know whether or not I should try this. And this doesn't mean launch a company. This means now I'm going to test my product. So the first two things that I talked through was just straight up research and then comparison analysis, and just to go, okay, this is what I'm facing. Now I'm going to test it. Too many entrepreneurs launch an idea officially without testing it. Test it. And oh my gosh, please don't test it with your mom and dad and Aunt Lucy and Uncle Larry. Really? Like, that's the worst, Joe. Oh, I'm going to test this. Who'd you test it with? All my friends and family, and my dad's got 5 brothers, and
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie, he loves it. He thinks it's the best thing he's ever bought. Oh, really? Great. Let's go all in on Cousin Eddie's recommendation. So, test it with real strangers. Real strangers. There's ways to do that. I love when we test stuff. We're testing some stuff right now. Big stuff. I want to know. I mean, listen, I love you folks. We got some super fans out there. We do. I love you. And you love me. And I do want to test things with you. But I also want to test things with people who have no idea who I am and no idea the show, no idea the methodology and all that. It's really important. Noah writes in, I've been in my job for 2 years. How do I highlight my success to my employer and approach the topic of a raise? Oh, we get this a lot. Don't ask for a raise. Ask for a growth plan. We have an article on this at kencoleman.com. Go to my articles tab, and we've got an in-depth article on this that'll be good for you to read. But here's the essence. When we go in and ask for a raise, it just always puts our leader on the defensive. They feel like they got to answer it. It's a tense thing because it's very personal because it's your money. What I like to do is you go in and say, hey, I'm enjoying it here. I want to stay here. Because apparently you do. That's why you're asking for a raise. So we say, hey, can we work together? I want to grow my responsibilities, my skills here, my influence here. And as I grow my responsibility, I'd love to grow financially. So my professional growth should always have a direct tie to my financial growth. So how do we do that? Well, we create a growth plan together. Your leader so you give the leader full authority. Say, hey, I'd like to work with you. What can I add to my skill set? What are some weaknesses that I need to mitigate better or I can improve upon? So this is humility and transparency. It's not, I need a raise, I deserve a raise. That's not the posture of this conversation. And a healthy leader will really respond positively to this and go, oh, great, I love this. Because when we create the growth plan, what you need to do to get better, skills you need to add, results that you need to deliver, we want to measure all of this. So we agree as I'm the team member, you're the leader. Let's agree on this and let's measure it. And if I meet results, then the bump in salary or the bonus or whatever is tied to performance. That is a much better way to go about it. And your leader, not only does it create a win for your leader with increased results, but your leader gets to go, hey, I worked with them on this. They're winning. I'm winning. The team's winning. And they get a nice financial bump out of it. And it becomes their idea. And that's a beautiful way to do it. 844-747-2577. Okay, I'm going to teach for just a few minutes here because we get these calls all the time. Ken, I got 2 or 3 ideas. I got 2 or 3 dream jobs. How do I decide? How do I confirm? Or, Ken, I'm going through the sweet spot exercise. I know what I'm really good at, my talent. And I know the work I love to do. I love to perform. That's passion. But this mission thing, Ken, the results that matter deeply to me, I have a hard time with that. Here's how you figure it out. Here's how you confirm your why. What moves your heart to the point that you could get emotional over it? The way I've said it on the program and on social media before, we have a really popular Instagram post that they kind of recycle every once in a while. And it says, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not your why. Now, I'm having a little bit of fun with that wordplay. So it doesn't mean that you're always walking around when someone goes, what are you passionate about? You don't just start crying. I mean, it's not, it's not that all the time. In fact, based on what I just did there, we really don't want that to ever be the way you cry. You know what I mean? The ugly cry, where everybody goes, "Aw," and then about 2 seconds later you go, "Ugh." That's the ugly cry, right? At first we're all moved by your tears, and then we go, "Oh gosh, I'm uncomfortable. Somebody get them a Kleenex." There's snot all over the place. What's happening right now? Nobody likes that. And I've done the ugly cry before. Okay, here's the point. What I'm talking about is as I have on the show, I've in meetings with the team, as I talk about you all, the problem, the challenges you're facing, the confusion, the fear, the doubt, the rejection, and I start talking about how I want to help people discover who they really are and then live and work in a way that they are making the world a better place and they are experiencing terrific meaning because they see how they are making the world a better place. That gets me really excited. And I have been moved to tears before in the middle of a phone call on this program or talking about it or on a stage speaking. It can hit me at any time. So that's the idea, is that your why should make you cry. If you were really to just sit and think about, this is what I want to do, or I'm getting a chance to do this and make a difference in the lives of kids, or making a difference in the lives of single moms, or making the difference in the lives of patients, making the difference in the lives of people's finances, should well up some emotion. So it's not a boo-hoo all the time. May not ever be a boo-hoo, but it makes you emotional inside. It fills you up. You are so grateful. That's what we're talking about. That's how you confirm. And so we've done this with people in the program. They'll call in A, B, and C, and I just do the old heart test. So allow yourself the freedom to feel, because it is your feelings, your heart. Your heart will confirm your why. Soak in it. Think about it. Think about the work. Think about the results of the work. Who's on the other end of this? Ask yourself, why do I care so deeply about this problem? Why do I care so deeply about these people? Why am I so fired up about this solution? And there's a personal connection, a story there. And that's where, Joe, the tears come on this program. When I'll dig and say, why do you want to help kids that have been abused? I'll never forget it, Joe. It was probably our first 6 months of the show. And I'm just going to share it. You remember it. Guy calls in. Very sharp professional guy. Big time technology career. Making 6 figures. He said, Ken, I really love technology. I love the work. But I'm torn today. I need your help. I said, okay, what are you torn between? He's like, child psychiatry and psychology. And I said, wow, that's really different from what you're doing. And I said to him, Joe, why? Why do you long to help kids? He goes, because, and he just lost it. I want to help kids that have been sexually abused, verbally abused, physically abused. He's in tears. And I asked him the question, and I knew the answer before I asked it. So why are you so moved? He goes, because I came out of it. And so therein lies many times a deep personal connection to why you love the work, passion, and why the results of that work make you cry. If your why doesn't make you cry, it may not be your why. Dig a little deeper. There should be deep, deep, deep heart connection to the work and to the results of the work. That's how you know. And then the heart will overpower the mind when fear and doubt and all that junk start to come in. And that's how you confirm your why. My time is almost up, but before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.